Bro, can I tell you, I bought these gloves, man. Drunk.
We have too many stories like that.
What I love about Daisies now is it's changed from what it used to be and what people used to see it as very much like a rock.
Yeah, I remember that.
And now
Your matric Afrikaans mark.
Hey bro, I can't remember, but it was so I did Afrikaans and English first language both, and I think I did better in English.
Oh, crazy!
Welcome to the pop.
Literally, that's Nelson Mandela saying. Together, we can literally do more. The journey continues.
Welcome to the pot. It's the Posties in the podcast. It's the Posties in the podcast. I got a new one today.
I think you're gonna run out one of these days.
I think nothing, bro. No such thing, bro. How you doing?
Bro, I'm good, bro. How you doing?
I'm healthy.
Bro, look at us now, dude. Guys, we're at Cultish, bro.
Oh my
Posties
God.
back again. Wait. Please subscribe.
Yes.
Please follow us
Yes.
all on Instagram and all these social media platforms. Comment,
And
share
everybody
with us
see.
all your stories. Guys, we'll bring you bigger guests. Today we got Superwoman in the building. Alex,
You didn't know.
If you didn't know,
If you didn't know.
you know now.
No, let me share a quick intro.
Please.
Guys, this is a mogul. I'm talking about whatever you need, she got you. You want some drip, she got you. You want some tune, she got you. You want a fire gig, she got you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we got you guys, the mogul, the goat, K Faith, which we already did the intro for, but now we're gonna pick it up. K, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How you guys doing?
I'm chilling, bro. We're talking about how it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
And how you finally here. How do you feel, man?
Yeah, I'm excited. I love talking about I'm a chatterbox sometimes.
You should.
We promote chatterboxes.
Yeah.
You came to the right place.
And we low-key in her crib, bro.
And are we gonna talk about what we're wearing?
Yes,
I want K-Face looking amazing. I think she gotta do the little bit of a segment right
It's
now.
time for the Drip Cam. Hey, okay, so in case you don't know, and for those who are watching who don't know, Drip Cam is a segment of the show where essentially we talk to the guests and we ask them, yo, what you got on? Do you want to put them on? And I'm saying, you're looking nice today, so
Thank you.
put on your people, what you got on?
Yeah, so obviously Cultish, that's
Love.
the home team.
Yes, sir.
Got my love for Cultish.
Yes, sir.
You know, I appreciate the brand. I love the brand. They show me a lot of love,
Mhm.
so the feeling is mutual. So yeah, that's the bucket and the bag. Then I got on. This is the Rich and Lisi H&M collaboration that came out.
Yeah.
This was the last hoodie in the store in my
Crazy.
size, and I bought it out underneath another lady that was like, "What size is that? Is that the last one?" Sadly, yeah. Then this is some unreleased K-Faith merch
Ooh.
that you guys will find out about soon.
That's your first view,
Yeah.
Memorize
Just
it.
some black skinny jeans, and
Yes,
then
ma'am.
these are the 50 years of hip hop Nikes
Ooh.
that were released earlier this year.
Sneakerhead in the
Crazy,
building.
crazy. I know sneakerhead and hip hop head at one time, bro.
Bro, it's about to be a great conversation.
Facts. Tell me what you got on.
Guys, today I'm styled by my girlfriend yet again. She said go for an all black look, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then gotta rep the house where you're
Yeah.
in, guys. When
Yeah.
you go into a house, you say respect.
Respect.
And that's what I'm doing with the Cultish on my head, guys. And then I got, Air Force Ones, got the camouflage. Lexi, what are you saying, my guy?
I know, we gotta show love, man. First of all, style by my girlfriend as well. You know, I love you.
Hey, love lives here.
Love lives here. Cultish up top, you know what I'm saying? Respect to the house. Thank you so much for having us in your crib, Cultish, and we hope it's not the last time. We do love you. Second, Elucid. Gillian, you know you're coming up on this thing, bro. Elucid Studio. Bro, can I tell you, I bought these gloves, man. Drunk.
We have too many stories like
Wow.
that.
Like 3 weeks ago, midsummer. No, I mean, it was hot.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Yeah.
I need the gloves. So Elucid Studio on the gloves, ASOS on the pants, ASOS on the boots. You know the vibes. But let's get right into it, shall we, Temba?
Let's jump in the deep end, man.
No. Okay, I guess let's start before we take it back into the history. Before we take it to the future, bro. Let's talk about today. Like, what you up to? How's your day been? How's it going?
Yeah, good. I came in here complaining that I was tired, just because the schedule's been a bit crazy. But I'm not complaining. I'm feeling super blessed to be as busy as I am.
Yeah.
It's very much gearing up now to be festive season, so
Yeah.
gigs are going crazy.
Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah, I got some crazy gigs lined up. Daisies soon. After
Yeah.
that, we're doing like Rage,
Yeah.
Cotton Fest, all of that. Type
Yeah.
of stuff.
Now you were giving me your lineup earlier when we were standing over there, so I was like crazy, dude. You have like 4 festivals like back to back, bro.
I think we can actually start the chat there because this is your 4th Daisies coming up.
Yeah, correct.
Like, I want to tap into your favorite Daisies memory, but like, how's the journey been and like growing with the brand? And there was a time when George was there and
Yeah.
COVID. Like, how's your Daisies journey been? Eh?
You know, like, I'm super thankful for George because he had enough faith to put me on that platform for the first time
Wow.
in 2018. That was
Wow.
my first Daisies.
Yeah.
And he brought me back in 2019, which I'm obviously super, super grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then COVID hit, which, say less,
Upset.
right? We all know how crazy that
Of
was.
course, of
Facts.
course.
And people were like really stoked for what the lineup was going to be for 2020 because that's when Stormzy was going to come.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he had
Yeah.
just dropped his album, so his hype was like off the
It
charts.
was about to
right?
be crazy. I remember that, yeah.
But yeah, unforeseen things happened. So everyone was kind of waiting, like, what's it going to be? How's it going to look like
Yeah.
post-COVID? Like, is it going to be the same?
Yeah.
And last year's Daisies was crazy. So they've been keeping going, and the festival's just growing. What I love about Daisies now is it's changed from what it used to be and what people used to see it as very much like a rock. and
Yeah,
alternative
yeah,
band.
I remember that.
And now it's for everyone. It's super
Yeah.
inclusive. You see all types of people there. You see
Yeah.
all types of music on the lineups.
Yeah.
They're focusing more on like fashion and culture and
Yeah.
stuff
Like it's
that.
growing.
Yeah. It's incredible, and it's always amazing going back to the festival and being included in it any type of way. I'm super, super blessed to
Yeah.
just be a part of it. Yeah.
I'm
Favorite
glad-
Daisies memory?
You know what? Probably my first time on stage. Like,
Yeah.
let's be real. I have so many, but the big one for me is my first time like heading out, stepping on stage,
Yeah.
performing. Because like it's big. Like people don't realize how big it is.
Shit is huge.
And
yeah.
when you also stepping on stage for the first time, you're like, I've seen a club with like 500
Yeah.
people or a venue with like
We're talking about
1,000.
2,000.
When it goes like
Festival.
5K, 10K people, it's crazy, bro.
Jeez, those are goals.
So my first time on stage is definitely like the memory I hold the like closest, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm.
There's so many from saying like I got to see. Funny story. So I performed Daisies first time 2018.
Yeah.
2017 I was working at Daisies as a camera operator.
Crazy.
Don't
So I was just
lie.
like filming main
From
stage.
behind the scene to being the scene.
Yeah.
Never talk about BTS.
And 2017 Daisies was when Mac Miller performed, so I got to see him perform.
Wow.
Which was crazy.
Wow. And that's monumental because that Daisy specifically with him being in South Africa like meant a
Yeah.
lot to so many people.
Yeah, totally.
I think a lot of people think about that video, like when he's walking out and he's jamming to Cinderella, and then it just
Crazy.
it goes black. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Yeah.
So like that was super crazy. Yeah, man, there's so many. I could have a whole podcast just on like Daisy's experiences.
Yeah.
Shout
Yeah.
out.
No, it's crazy, and I love the fact that you touched on how Daisies used to be
Yeah.
and how it is now. And like, if I had to just look at the timeline, right? You said your first gig at Daisies was 2018.
Yeah.
Started grafting there 2017. But if we had to look at when Daisies started sort of evolving to this cultural like
Phenomenal.
phenomenon, shout out for that one. I'd have to say that you were a part of that process somewhat. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think you contributed to just bringing Daisies to the forefront in terms of culture and in terms of just like taking them away from the whole rock and like boom bap and not boom bap but like EDM dance music perspective?
Well, you know what? Like 2018, when George booked me for the first time, like I was playing a very different type of hip hop than I'm playing now. It was more like bass music hip hop, right? So it wasn't all the like raps, the mainstream stuff like that. It was me really playing like bass music at like hip hop tempo, right?
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, it's risky, but it's different,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think people will see it if I like
Sheesh.
do it properly.
Sheesh.
And I remember I met George, I think the year prior at the Cape Town Electronic Music Festival, where I also like played for the first time.
Yeah.
And one of my friends was like, "There's George from Daisies. Like, you should just go like dap him up." And he actually like turned around, and when we started speaking, he was like, "I love what you do.
Crazy.
Like, keep doing what you're doing,
Crazy.
right?" And I saw that as like I'm seeing Daisies this year, like.
Yeah.
But I ended up making it onto the lineup the following year.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, sick, okay, Daisies is my first time, let's see what this is going to look like. Bro, and he put me at a spot, like that year, the festival had 3 stages, like next to each other. So there was the main stage where like Black performed, there was the Hotel Selection, which was the like
Yes.
alternative poppy stage.
I probably saw that here actually.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
most
about it.
likely.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Amir performed at the time.
Yeah.
And then I was in the stage in the middle, which was called the Oasis House, or Amstel Oasis.
It was like the
House.
beach kind of vibe. Was it that one?
It was that like triangle stage.
Okay.
Yeah. So I looked at my lineup on the app, like when I was performing, and I was like, okay, while I'm on stage, nothing's happening at main stage.
Crazy.
So those people are going to be this way.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just finished like maybe 15 minutes into my set.
Yeah, they
So
heard.
while I was performing, nothing was happening at the other stages. They were both in changeover.
So you decided?
So I had just all this like funnel of people at my stage. And I had friends of mine who were in the crowd just filming for me. And there's literally a video, I can give it to you guys if you want to include it in the podcast.
Yes, please.
Where my like one song drops and there's this dude just going, what the fuck, in the crowd, right? And I was just like, yeah, that risk was so worth it.
Yeah.
Because it set me so apart from everything else played at that fest.
I can imagine it, bro. The stage is set, everyone is quiet, everyone is trying to do whatever they're trying to do because it's after everyone's set and you like you take a risk.
Yeah, and you know
That's
what?
huge.
Like I was like, this crowd is gonna cross over here at some point. I need to play something that'll make people like stop and watch and pay attention.
Oh man,
So
I
I
can
was like,
imagine
let me-
myself walking.
exactly.
Literally.
And it paid off because like I went back the following year and it was crazy as well. Yeah.
Back to back to back.
But on that note, like being like a DJ with and like in one space like with so much range, we spoke about festival DJing and then DJing like for 500 people.
Yeah.
What's the difference between that, especially in like the hip hop realm? Like when you're DJing for people that are filtering in from a media stage and on the main stage where there could be 5,000 to 10,000 people.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
You know what? Like club performances are a little bit more intimate. I feel like you can actually be a bit more like experimentative in the club.
Yeah, facts.
Because like if you see the crowd isn't feeling it, you can switch quickly and like keep the energy right.
Look over the DJ.
Also, like in clubs, people are here, right? When festivals, it's like there's you, there's the stage, there's the camera put, and then there's the crowd.
Yeah.
So with the festival lineup, like it's a little bit different. Like for me personally, I take way more music to festivals.
Yeah.
So let's say I take hip hop and I feel like, hey, this isn't working. I'll like switch over to
Fire.
piano or whatever
Another
else.
vibe.
Also, what's cool about festivals is you can, like, if you want to go experimental, you can really go for it.
Yeah.
And you can just like, hey, I feel like just doing this weird thing today, and sometimes it pops off, you know. But it comes with that thing of the risk of like, I might lose the crowd entirely, and they'll just move to the next stage. In the club, you don't have that. It's everyone's there.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah. You might
When the
lose them
DJ
to
messes
the
up,
bar.
we're like, yo, you're like,
waiting for the
yo.
sparkles to come over.
There's a question from the live audience. First of all, shout out our live audience.
Yeah.
We filled up cultish. Hey, yo, hit us.
Okay, so I got some inside information that your original name is Katarina. I wanted to know where K-Fake comes from in like relation to that. But my second question, as a follow-up question, is like, I know you're also Afrikaans, and like I don't know what your upbringing is, but I know that it's quite strict in that kind of household. Like, how did you come to being? How did you step outside of that? How did you become a creative? And
Just
how did your
question.
parents and your family like respond to that? You know. So yeah, where does K-Fake come from?
Yeah.
And who is she? What's the vibe?
Alright, so yeah, totally right. I come from an Afrikaans family. I come from a very small town,
Crazy.
Nisa.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, real small,
Okay.
very like small, conservative. Everyone knows what's happening in each other's backyards. That type of life, right?
How big your pool is.
So I'll answer the first question first, where the K-Faith comes from.
Yeah.
So close. My real name is Karin.
Hey,
Close.
Katarina.
Katarina.
I'm like, okay.
I was like, sheesh, okay.
Close enough though. So because of the strong R right in the middle of my name, so many people struggle to say Karin, you know, especially folks who are not from this country.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I was like, okay, how do I make it easy? Let me just take the first letter K, right? Easy. Now, my surname is Barnard, right? So if you go on Facebook right now, you type in Karin Barnard, there's 20 million Karin Barnards out there, right? So I took like a random word and I just put it as my middle name on Facebook at the time. And the first kind of word that jumped up was faith. Because I was like, yeah, you know, it's a word we follow around.
Yeah.
We use it in life.
Yeah,
so I just
yeah,
made
yeah.
my Facebook name like Karin Faith Barnard, right?
Crazy.
That's how I moved. Then at the time I was a student, I was studying with this guy, what's his name, Eric. He's from Brazil.
Ooh, shout out Eric.
Brazilian. And he ran up to me the one day and he was like, "Hey, is your middle name really Faith?" And I was like, not really, you know, I just put it on the Facebook thing. And he was like, "I was about to say that's so crazy. K Faith, what a dope name." And I was kind of like,
Shout out Brazil.
that sounds pretty fire, right?
Yeah.
And at the time, I was also like, okay, I probably need an alias at some point.
Yeah.
I couldn't really decide on it. And I was like, that's it. I gotta go with it from that point onwards.
K-Faith.
That's the birth of K-Faith,
Yeah.
man.
And a solid question from the live audience.
Yes.
To answer the second half, how I got into music. Look, I come from a musical family. Like my grandparents all like sang. I mean, that's a very common South African thing.
Yeah.
Right? We always have
Yeah.
some musical sibling or parent,
Somewhere.
uncle or aunt. There's always that. So I grew up around music a lot, and also like I have an older brother that put me onto a lot of his music. Like an older brother is like 10 years older than me.
Crazy. What is he listening to?
Hey,
What is he listening to?
bro, everything. Like I remember we used to drive listening to like Beach Boys or Nirvana or like
He loves that vibe.
Beach Boys.
Beach Boys.
or like, you know, Missy Elliott. Like I remember that a lot as a kid, like listening to Missy Elliott. Like, because he was obviously, because he's the oldest, he got the license first.
Of course.
So he used to like do all the missions, and
Yeah.
then I used to just drive with
Yeah,
big kid, like
yeah.
just wanting to be included and shit.
Yeah, this is
Um,
probably Missy Elliott and the Beach Boys.
Yeah, so you know, I was exposed to so much music from like a really young age.
Yeah.
And then as we go through life, you know, you finish high school, you got to choose what to do after school.
Yeah.
And music was never even on my radar. I wanted to study art, like I wanted to do fine art
At
Michaelis
UCT?
at UCT.
Yeah.
And through like a really weird application process, and some things got lost when I mailed it through, because you have to like mail through your portfolio.
Yeah.
So they can
I,
search
I was
through.
going to talk about the story.
Yeah. Ended up getting in for a course in art history, which I wasn't keen to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then my stepmom was like, "Yo, I was listening to music. I taught myself how to play guitar at the time. But literally, like, if you ever moved through a house, you would just hear noise coming from my room. So I was
get you.
always just blasting music. Funny, I'll tell you guys the story. I don't know if I've ever told it like on a live class.
This is the
So
place.
we used to like sell music in high school, right? So the hustle was like, this was when the only place you could really get music at the time was like Musica,
Yeah.
or if
Or
you
like
knew
one of
how
those
to
sites.
pirate or fly, right?
Skull MP3.
So in our school, the person who was the best music hustler was the person who would pirate the hottest tracks, right? So what you used to do is go to someone, they'd give you a list of tracks they want on the CD. You pirate
You
it.
say quotes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get that shit offline, burn it onto an album, and then we used to sell those mixtapes
Invoice
for like
that.
50 bucks,
Invoice
right?
that.
So the
Shout
music
out.
hustle was like there
Yeah, it's
without
been
me
there.
even trying to do it.
Crazy.
Anyway, like long story short, after school I had to like now choose, okay, I'm not doing art history, what
Yeah.
now? Like I kind of have to start over.
Yeah.
And my stepmom was actually like, "You always involved with music somehow. It's not making music at school, it's like playing instruments."
You're doing something with music.
Yeah. And she was like, "Why don't you look into something like sound engineering?" The course I was looking at the time was a 1-year course. So she was like, "Just, you know, you want to be in Cape Town, go do this 1-year course. If you really want to, you can like go back and try art again at another point.
Mhm.
But here's at least a plan B
Very open.
for the failed plan A."
Solid.
Anyway, I like freshly turned 18, left the house, came here, started studying sound engineering. And it kind of hooked me, it bit me, and I ended up doing 2 years of sound
Yeah.
engineering, walked away with my qualification.
Sheesh.
And even then, music wasn't on the radar. Even when I had
Yeah.
the paper, I was like, it's not music yet, right?
Yeah. Get you.
So I started doing like gang internships everywhere. Like
Yeah.
I was interning at Artscape, Baxter Theatre,
Crazy.
Oh,
like
you were
everywhere,
around.
everywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
And one evening at one of the places I was interning, I got a call from the studio guys, and they were like, "We got an evening session this evening.
Yeah.
It's like rappers, so it's like one microphone.
Yeah.
Not a really complicated setup.
Yeah.
These guys had been to the studio before, but they kept running so late. No one wanted to run the sessions because they don't want to sit around waiting for these guys. And I was like young, keen to always just be involved in studio. And it turns out that studio session was the session that Most Def was in Cape Town
Whoa.
for. So just through like being patient and being willing to wait for them running like 4 or 5 hours late.
Yeah.
the session,
Yeah.
I ended up getting 2 studio sessions with Most Def at
Crazy.
the time. And now you guys know Cape Town's real small, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those word just traveled.
Yeah.
I had this like influx of rappers hitting me up and artists wanting to work.
Hey, you ran Most Def session, hit me.
Yeah. Okay, Faith worked with Most Def. She's doing my
And I was going,
yeah. And it just kind of started building from there, you know. And then I landed with like EJ, I landed with Youngster. And Journey just kind of started building from there, very organically.
I mean, like when we did a little bit of research on you, we discovered one thing: you have the potential to drop all the names you want.
Yeah.
You have the potential to drop any single name.
Any given moment, bro.
Like from that girl who was in Baxter, like Artscape, like literally just figuring life out, doing internships, who got called to that session. Something pivoted, something changed, right?
Yeah.
After that session. What was that? Because you
You
weren't
know-
trying to do music.
You know what? Like
Talk to me.
I'd obviously grown up listening to Most Def.
Yeah,
Because I was
yeah.
into hip hop a lot as a kid. Like,
Yeah.
The school I went to was like very Afrikaans, and
Yeah.
it was never my thing. Like it was just never my thing.
What is your matric Afrikaans mark?
Hey bro, I can't remember, but it was so I did Afrikaans and English first language both, and I think I did better at English than Afrikaans.
Oh,
to be
crazy.
honest. But yeah, like I always loved hip hop. Like it was a thing for me since I was small, and I think it's because I saw Missy Elliott's music,
Yeah,
and I was so
yeah.
inspired by that. I was like, oh, this chick is dope, music's dope, music videos are crazy, and when you're small, you think that shit sounds so
Yeah.
Exactly. That's everything.
So I'd always loved hip hop, and then I had this like moment of like, yo, I grew up listening to this dude, and he's this like international
Yeah.
superstar.
There's a
actor,
million people
whatever.
who want to be here.
And when you're that close to like that stardom,
Yeah.
it feels different, right? And it's I would say it's almost like a drug that you chase. Like I want to feel that feeling of walking into the room and people know who you are and what
Yeah.
you do.
I want to be like that guy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also just like the music we made that night, I was like, yes, this is the type of stuff I want to be involved with because we made some great music that night.
Crazy.
I'm sitting on like unreleased Most Def verses.
Ooh.
You know?
You don't understand that for the podcast, that's all.
A small
Hey,
But you know, like that feeling is something I think that kind of stuck with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like a feeling you chase. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, the first time I was in studio with a lot of these big guys, like Nasty.
Yeah.
I had some sessions with a lot of great people. And
I was gonna tap in about if you've sorry to interrupt you. If
No,
you've
no,
ever
no.
been starstruck, because like you tapped into the Most Def story, and there's even what's this Ghost from Power.
Go.
Yeah.
Like that's a story you have
Thames
too.
there somewhere.
Yeah.
Thames
Yeah,
is also
Thames
in there
is
somewhere. Like if you want to name drop, you can name drop. So like, has there ever been a time? Has there ever been a time you've been starstruck? Yeah?
You know what? Yes and no. Why I'm saying no is because the closest thing to starstruck I got was with Most Def, and he walked into the room being like the most humble, down to earth.
Yeah.
He walked up to me one night and he was like, "How you doing?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Damn, this guy is a superstar. He doesn't need to care about me."
Yeah.
And he's
Crazy.
being so humble, right?
Crazy.
And I learned there, like, a lot of these celebrities are just normal human beings.
Shit,
And
facts.
the moment you treat them like a normal homie, you get a lot of like love back. From
You
them,
actually get
respect
to
back
see
from
them and you get to
because
see
they're
their
surrounded by
perspective.
that, like, what can we do for you?
Of
What
course.
can we
Exactly.
make you feel
Of
special.
course, of course.
But the one moment that I was like pretty starstruck, I have two artists I was starstruck with. The first was the first time I met DJ Ready D. He doesn't even know this, so he's probably if he
Crazy,
sees
crazy.
this,
Shout
he'll-
out Ready D though.
Exactly.
It would be crazy if you gave Ready D on this thing.
Exactly.
It would be crazy.
Y'all should let me co-host that one with you. When you
Say
get
less, say less.
It's done. It's done now.
Because I grew up listening to like a lot of Brasa Fanika.
Yeah.
So like they were like idols to me, and then I moved here, not thinking we'd ever cross paths, and then
Sheesh.
like I met him, so I was a bit like, oh, this. And then the other person was Mick Jenkins.
Yeah.
Mick Jenkins, I was a bit starstruck. I was just like, hey, this guy is so great. So he did a show in Cape Town, and I did the sound for this gig.
Fire.
So I got to meet him.
Crazy. I remember when Mick was down here. That was sick. That was sick. That
And
was
I
sick.
was a bit like, woo.
So I've observed something just listening to your story. There's been multiple occurrences of synchronicities and coincidences.
Yeah.
I mean the call.
Yeah,
I mean the arts. I mean so many other steps that you could have just decided to take that step or that step, but instead this one ended up being the one, and now you're here, right? So now I want to ask: had those synchronicities, quote unquote coincidence, not occurred, where would you have been today, man?
Hey, dude,
What would you
I
have been
don't
doing?
even know. Like, look, what I can say is I wouldn't have stayed back home where I'm from just because, like, that small town life wasn't for me. Like, I came to Cape Town for
So
the
you
first
knew
time.
that?
Yeah, definitely.
I want to tap into that at some point.
My older brother moved to Cape Town, and I came to visit him once while I was like grade 8 or 9 or something.
Yeah.
And it was my first time in Cape Town. That's
Yeah.
how small where I'm from
Yes,
is.
yeah.
And I remember being here, being like, whoa, big buildings and people hustling and moving.
Yeah.
I love that feeling.
Yeah.
And I knew immediately, I was like, small town life. Like, I'm now that I'm older, I'm grateful for where I'm
Where you're
from.
from, of
But
course.
at the time, I was like, nah, I can't stay
Perspective,
here,
man.
right?
Yeah.
Because also, like, I look at my family and it's like, my brother and myself are the only people from my family that don't live back home.
Wow.
Really?
All of them are back there.
Do you have other siblings?
Yeah, I've got a gang of siblings.
Yeah.
I've got,
gang.
you know what, it's funny because my sibling story is also crazy. I got an older brother who's 10 years older than me, and then I have a little sister who's 16 years younger than me.
Yo, these
So,
guys said range.
Shout out. Shout out.
Yeah, so you know, like I knew it. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna stay here
Yeah.
because I also like, you know, you chase purpose. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
wanna
chase
do something
purpose.
in life.
Yeah.
And for me, like, yeah, I knew I was gonna get out of the small town.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like this thing of getting into music and it working, like, I think that was just a call
Yeah.
that came from something higher than me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this purpose
wasn't
is
in
there and I'm
you,
just
yeah.
going, you know.
I get that.
Tapping into a little bit of that core there, because I want to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about you on the production side of things.
Yes.
Can you tell me the biggest differences from K Faith that dropped YY on SoundCloud 6 years ago
Yeah.
and when you got to making your first album, Antithesis?
You know, not much different, hey. Like the skills get better and the human
Yeah.
skills get better.
Yeah.
And you learn to deal with
Yeah.
the communications and the anxieties and stuff.
Teamwork.
But honestly, not much has changed. Like my goal is the same. The way I work is very much like the same. It's just the time you put in and the people you meet, and you know, the more time you spend doing this thing, you meet more people and you meet people who are better at their craft. And also for me, like how I work is my circle is really small, and I'm very selective about who comes
Who
into my
gets to-
creative
Yeah,
circle. You
I
know?
get that.
So over time, I've just like curated the circle to be full of like people I consider to be super talented. So even why I was a story of coincidence. To be very honest with you, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, not much has changed. Honestly,
Okay.
just more experience, just cemented the
Yeah.
skill set.
I love that.
Can you tap in a little bit about like you said your team is like small on the
Yeah.
creative side. Was that like intentional from the jump, or was that like a few experiences that you learned on the way on? Some okay, cool. There's certain energy I can't let in because the product changes.
Yeah, absolutely. When I just started, like, you know, like, and I see a lot of young producers and even young musicians do this, like, you chase that, like, super collab.
Yes.
That super big name, and you think once I land that big name,
It's done.
my life is going to change and the numbers are going to blow up and it's done. A lot of times what I learned and maybe it's because I learned it very early on, is the fact that a lot of guys top aren't nice people, right?
Fair.
They're not nice people.
We want to ask stories. We want to ask questions.
So I learned that it's like there are really humble people who I can keep in my circle who are as talented as those guys at the top.
Straight
And they might not have the hype and they might not have the
Straight
numbers, but
facts.
I can make great music with them.
Straight facts.
And we can get there.
Yeah.
You know, we can get to the top together.
Together.
And I don't have to deal with the ego. Like for me, ego and like attitude, they're big buzzkills.
No, straight
And
facts,
I
man.
can like walk away from any situation when I'm not feeling it.
Boring. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. No. That thing just puts me off as well, man. To be honest, it's like when you have to work with someone and they're in their own way,
Yeah.
and consequentially in your way now as well.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro. It's
And
like,
you're stopping the process at the end of the day because, like, what are we here for? Like, in your case, just to make music.
Yeah.
Like, that's the end
Yeah,
of
man.
But don't assume that it's just to make music, because this is a person who wears many hats. True many hat wearer. You know what I'm saying? And on that note, like, because am I correct to say that you do lecture?
Yes.
You lecture. You make music.
Yeah.
You're making drip.
Yep.
You're making vibes. You curate events.
Yeah.
You create. What's your favorite hat to wear? The list goes on. I was running out of fingers.
Yo, why? Now you're making a pick between your kids, dog.
I'm
Favorite
sorry,
hats,
dog, I'm
man,
sorry.
that's crazy.
We all know your parents have a favorite child. Your mom likes that son. Is there?
The newest thing right now that I'm enjoying is like getting into merchandising. Maybe it's the effect of being close to cultish, seeing all that dope stuff, and I'm like,
big shout out once again.
Things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm getting into like getting the merch side of things a little bit more sorted.
Yeah.
I mean, beginning of this year, I stumbled into like film composition when I did the thing with Disney.
Disney Plus. Yeah, I wanted to tap into that, eh?
And like I enjoyed that so much, just like working sound to picture, producing for animations. That's crazy.
How's that process like? Do you get like the full, like I don't want to say like content first, and then you compose after, or is it part of the process?
So the first thing I got from them was this like video clip. Some of the scenes were like complete. Some of the scenes were just like pencil sketches, moving. Some scenes were just blank, like just a white screen.
Wild, with words, and then he jumps off the building.
Well, the only words it said on every edit I got was property of Disney Plus.
Crazy.
I got so much trouble. So yeah, I got like on the visual side, I got some things to work with, but it was still like in development. I got one audio track of reference music, what they wanted the reference music to sound like. One audio track of dialogue, one audio track of sound effects. Kind of work towards that.
And you had to make the rest of it like happen.
Yeah.
I was sitting in a session where one of my homies was scoring a movie. It's a detailed process, bro. Like from the stuff of the sound to like the breathing and like you got to pay attention to detail. You got to wrap it up nicely, etc., etc., etc. But is it time for the top 5?
Oh, let's get a question first from the
Everybody wait! There's a live student audience question.
Stop. Everybody stop what they're doing.
What'd you say?
Sorry, this is the last question from our audience.
No need to apologize.
You mentioned your goal. What is the end goal?
I like that.
And then the second question is, what is the second question?
You forgot.
Why did you say that?
Oh yes, the second question is what's the end goal? And secondly, you said that you did art. I'm an artist, so I want to know, have you ever tapped back into that? How does that like still fall into your world?
Yeah.
Is it still a passion?
That's a good question, live audience.
Yeah, live audience is on fire today.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out K-Faith though.
I don't know, right? Like the goal changes over time. Like when I was younger, the goal was just like release your first album.
Yeah.
Now that's happened, and I'm like, my mentality isn't like, I've done that, it's over, right?
Yeah. Just get hungry.
So the goal's forever changing, but the goal for me is to do like, I want to make sure that the brand and the person and the entity and the energy that is K-Faith is solidified for various reasons.
Yeah.
Reasons such as like being authentic,
Yeah.
being creative, being like different.
Yeah.
You know, like that's kind of what the goal is. I don't want to be like, my goal is to sell 1 million records.
Yeah.
Nah, not necessarily.
Yeah.
You're staying authentically yourself.
Yeah,
Authentically K-Faith.
totally. So the goals are always changing. I mean, you know, like nothing in this world is really out of reach.
Yeah,
If you really
no
want to
straight
go
facts.
for it, you can go for it.
You can.
So for me, it's like my goal is forever changing. Like I can't tell you guys now what the long-term goal is. I have short-term goals, obviously.
Of course.
You know, I need to release some more music soon. That's on the list.
Yes, please.
Yeah, there's a lot of short-term goals. Like on top of the list you mentioned, I'm also a student at the moment. I'm studying again as well.
It's another ad.
Hey, dog.
So the goal is to finish this course.
How many arms do you have, bro?
Carrying all of this, bro.
And
So
then
yeah,
to
secret
answer
arms, bro.
the second question, which was just remind me
The
again.
art.
The art.
Oh, the art. Yeah, absolutely. Like I sketch still. So the art, my kind of arts I was into at the time I wanted to study art was sketching and painting, but also graffiti. Like I used to do a lot of things that I can't talk about.
Hey, we need to go do some things we can't talk about.
Yeah, we can chat about that.
Say this.
But now, like, I find myself like sketching some more. I find myself like painting still. Like I have a sketch pad, like where I sit and I work in my studio. Like there's always a piece of paper and pens.
Crazy.
So like I can work on music and then just start like sketching or writing ideas. I'm very much like I try and express myself like in actions.
Yeah.
So with music, you know, you're moving and you're playing and it's action, right? And I also love like I'd rather write something than type it because the
Get
action
that.
of writing,
Yeah.
it feels like I'm expressing that energy.
Yeah,
I'm
it feels like it's
coming out of
taking
you.
out of like
Exactly.
putting on.
So I like just, and also like I think a lot. Like I'll sit and just think of things,
Yeah.
and it's always great just to have a piece of paper there, just to quickly jot down an idea, and then it's forever there. You know,
get
you can
you.
forget about it, but it'll
I
be
get
on
you.
your page.
At some point,
So-
I had a little notebook that I just couldn't leave the house with.
Yeah,
I
totally.
didn't know when an idea would hit.
Exactly. And as soon as it hits, you don't want to lose it.
You know, because it does leave.
And now, like, you know, being close with the cultish team, and I'm sure you guys know the Bushi's artwork. outside.
Yeah.
I saw them, like, I came through when they were going to paint that. And I got this itch. I was like, shit, I need to get, like, some spray paint.
Yeah.
Things.
Get that.
So that'll be something I'll probably try and get into again real soon.
Yeah.
Forever doing the art stuff, you know?
Alright, let's step into top 5 time.
Top five. So top 5
Yeah.
is a segment of the show where we ask Kay just to pick 5 things in a category or a segment that we give you. For
Okay.
example, top 5 t-shirts.
Gotcha.
Cultish number 1 blue, Cultish number 2.
Number 2.
You know what I'm saying? So that's essentially how top 5 works.
Gotcha.
Somebody want to go first?
Yeah, okay. Top 5 songs you wish you were in the studio for that were made.
Oh, what a question.
You wish you were in the session.
I can give you those in like no particular order.
No,
Sure,
it doesn't have to be in order.
sure.
Okay. One of those would be 99 Problems, Jay-Z,
Okay.
right? Rick Rubin's someone I look up to a lot, so he produced that. And it's such like odd track, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one, Waters by Mick Jenkins. Would have
Yeah.
loved to have
She
that
starts
one.
up moments.
That's crazy.
Those two jumped out immediately. I have to think about the others.
It's a tough question.
Yeah, it's a tough question. I'm trying to think of my favorite songs and if I could have been there for it. I would have to say, I'm trying to think of some of the local stuff I would love to be a part of.
Waters, 99 Problems.
Let's say I would have loved to be there for any of the stuff that the Brassophonica guys did on their first album, Ace Code.
Got you.
Like that's a sick album. Not a lot of people
Got
know
you.
about that album.
Yeah.
It's close to your heart.
It's
Yeah.
worth checking out. Hey, this is a crazy one. This is gonna be a deep one. I wish I
Yes.
was a part, and this is not a song, this is an album. Change the question slightly.
Okay, no problem.
When they were making the Busi and Plongo Urban Zulu album,
Yeah,
because
crazy.
that is one of my favorite records
Crazy.
of all time.
Crazy.
I love anything by Busi and Plongo.
Yeah.
So definitely that whole album, I'll be there, like just.
Yeah, I'm breaking it down.
And then to wrap it up, let me put something weird in here.
Yeah. We love weird.
There's a song, but I can't pronounce its name. I'll give you guys the title to put on screen, but it's a song by an artist called Aphex Twin.
Yeah,
Okay.
Aphex Twin is like an electronic music producer, but this guy did like crazy things. Like
Yeah.
he's super experimental. Like all the EDM electronic guys watching here are now
Crazy.
going like,
It's not shit.
We're plebs. I'm a pleb.
I can't say the name of the song, but I'll give you guys to put on screen.
Alright, Kate,
Yes.
give me top 5 young kids that you are looking out for in the city or in the country.
In
That
the
you like, just like,
country, in the city.
that kid could be fire.
I don't know if this first one will count, but I'm still like,
Let's go crazy.
she's young, and I think she's got a lot that she can do.
Right.
There's an artist, Holy Alpha from Cape Town. I don't know if you guys know Holy.
So say name again.
It's Holy Alpha.
Holy Alpha, say
Holy
less.
Alpha. Fire,
Say
she's so dope. Homie of mine that I'm busy like kind of mentoring at the moment, artist called Kenji TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
Kenji is super
Mhm.
dope. We've got some music coming out soon. So
Someone that
looking
could
forward to
someone
that.
He's someone I'm pushing. Who else? In the city, K Keys obviously going crazy.
Of course. Shout out Key.
Check out that episode.
Watch that episode,
Who else? There's this kid I met recently called Greek.
I know Greek.
Yeah.
The Greek guy.
Greek is
I know
crazy.
Greek,
I met
yeah,
Greek
yeah.
in a studio not too long ago.
Crazy.
I think Greek is gonna be crazy. And then I'll throw in a producer if that's fine with you guys.
Of course.
There's this homie from Kaya Licha,
Ooh.
Musai Beats.
Msai.
Yeah.
Beats,
Mm.
okay.
Musai. He's
What kind of music?
Hey bro, he's like
He's just cooking.
hip hop. He was telling me he's trying to get into piano. And I was like, I don't know.
I get that.
Yeah. I'll throw him in there as well because he's a young homie from the city and I do see a lot of potential in him.
Sick.
Yeah, that's probably my list. Yeah.
No, I love that, and I think it wouldn't be fair for us to end this podcast without giving you your flowers.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You've been active for time, and it's not even that long of a time, but your impact has been felt. Before we started the podcast, we knew of you and we respected you. So the blessings for actually coming through the podcast, sitting down with us, having a conversation.
I don't think it's the last time you're gonna be on the podcast. I'm just
We've
saying.
been co-hosting already.
Oh yeah, we're co-hosting
already.
But even beyond that, I'm just saying it's not the last time. Okay, shout out for pulling up. Also, good luck for Daisies next week, guys.
Yes,
if you're there, check
and
her
Flip
out.
Rage and bring Rise and Cotton Fest, go crazy.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Posties family, shout out for joining us yet again. Told you we're getting bigger and bigger guests. Shout out the live studio audience as always.
That one was late.
Yeah, that one was late. She was not here the whole time. But it's okay. Guys, as you know, always like, comment, subscribe. Join us on this journey because you know the journey continues. Woo!